Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundant Television found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Make sure you check out the podcast. netnewsnetwork.net, netnewsnetwork.net. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of fantastic talk show hosts are on this network, so make sure you check it out, okay? Lots of great folks who want to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth about something, and this is through Amazon. You can click on the link right down there to get some special pricing. I have the air fryers. It's the Emeril Legacy air dryer, and I'm loving it. And I like to cook myself, and just, but I want to do it really easy in the quick way. I don't want to like it just drag forever because we work all day, and then we got the garden coming in, we got all this stuff going on, and so I just look for easy recipes and quick ways to do stuff. And so I've had this air fryer for a long time, and it's just really super nice. And this is what it looks like. You get some recipe books and everything that go with it, but I'm extremely happy with this. I'm very, very happy with it. And it's called the 360. Now it's on sale for $179, which is super price for something like that. And there are different steps involved, and I'll show you, but I'm going to share some recipes, the ones that I have used, okay? By the way, I bake biscuits in it every single morning, so it bakes and it fries. It does all kinds of great things. Low calorie too, and that's what we're all looking for, the more healthy type. I have grilled the chicken in it. I've just done all kinds of things in this thing. And it comes with several different accessories too. So let me see if I can point some of those out to you. And I'm going to hurry. I promise I'll hurry up and get with you really, really quick on how to use it. Now, what comes with it, you get the crisper tray, which is this one right here. That's the crisper tray, and I really like that because that's really good. Like if you have onion rings and you make onion rings, and like dip it in an egg mixture and then in flour, maybe in cornbread mixture, and I'll have that recipe for you in just a minute. But I want to tell you what, it makes the absolute best onion rings. Sometimes when you buy onion rings, or you have the frozen ones, or you go out to eat, sometimes they're kind of stringy like. I've not had bad onion rings in this thing ever. They've always been so good. And then it also comes with a pizza rack, so you can cook a pizza in it if you want to do that. Baking pan. It has a drip tray down at the bottom of it, and it's real easy to clean. That's another thing. It has a rotisserie spit, and I'm going to tell you, that's the chicken on that is amazing. I've really loved it. And it also comes with rotisserie stand. I went on ahead and got that. That was optional. So I have that as well. It just kind of helps hold everything in place. So that's as far as I'm going to go in this book right here. So you get plenty of manuals with it. Everything comes with it. But it's a quick, easy thing to do. And I'm going to tell you what, husband, you get a doghouse about something, you can cook something in this Emeril. It's really, really easy to do. And I really like it, and it's really easy to work, really easy to use as well. I bake Phil's biscuit, and of course you're making more than one biscuit. It's going to take a little bit longer. But every morning what happens, first of all, I'll bake the biscuits, I make those up and put them in the freezer, and then the night before I'll go ahead and put it in a little container. Morning when I get up, I get a little bit of butter and just put just a little bit. Now he doesn't get much, he wants more, but I just give him a little bit on the bottom of the pan. And then I put the biscuit and kind of flatten it with my hands. I throw it in the air fryer, and I put it on bake. It only takes me 7 minutes to bake him a biscuit. Now in the oven in the summertime, you use your oven, and the whole kitchen's going to get hot, and you don't want a hot kitchen in the summertime. You got to use more air conditioning to make it work. But 7 minutes bakes his biscuit. It heats up. And then you'll see the timer start going down. And when the timer starts going down, well, then the biscuit will be done in 7 minutes. Pretty cool, I'll tell you. There's a quick start guide on how to clean it, and it's all kinds of great things. But I wanted to tell you about this macaroni and cheese. That's one of Phil's favorite dishes right here. Now you get 2 books. I've got the small big book came with it, and then also a big one. So this is real thick, and it's just chock full of recipes. And he also gives you tips on cooking. He's a good chef. It most certainly is. So I'm going to start out with macaroni and cheese, and then we're going to go into a couple other recipes. So this is what you have to have. Now it calls for a ½ pound of grated Fontina's cheese. If you don't have that, you can use cheddar cheese, whatever you want to use, and 3 different kinds of cheddar cheeses. So a total amount, you're going to have about a cup of cheese, and whatever you've got on hand. 3 tablespoons of butter, and you'll need some pasta, about 12 ounces of pasta, 1½ cups of milk. You'll need now I like to use whole milk, but you can use skim milk if you'd like to. And then you'll need 1 8-ounce can of evaporated milk. You'll need a teaspoon of salt, about a ½ teaspoon of ground black pepper. I like the ground pepper better. Grind it myself. 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley. That can be optional, and then 1/2 cup of panko bread crumbs. So what you'll do is combine all the cheeses in a large bowl, and then you'll mix it all up. You want to reserve 1/2 cup of the cheese mixture. You want to butter a 4.5 quart casserole dish that fits inside that air fryer, okay? And then add the butter, the pasta, the unreserved cheese mixture, and then you'll need to put the milk, evaporated milk, the salt, and the black pepper together. Now separate the parsley because you want to sprinkle some on top so it looks pretty. Then the reserved cheese mixture, and finally the panko breadcrumbs all over that pasta mixture. Slide the pizza rack into the shelf in position 6, or different positions, so every recipe tells you which position it goes in. Place the casserole dish on the pizza rack. Now rotate the program selector knob to the slow cook setting. And then you'll rotate the temperature control knob to 275 degrees or 135 degrees Celsius, and the time control knob to 3 hours. You'll press the start or the pause button to begin the cooking cycle. Now you'll want to rotate it once you get into about 10 minutes, and then press the start pause button to begin the cooking cycle. And it's really good macaroni and cheese, and there's a picture of it right there. See that? Okay, before we go into a break, I've got another one I'm going to show you. I'm just showing you some of I haven't tried every single one of them, but I'd like to go ahead and show you. You can actually cook a hamburger in it. Easy. So what you're going to need is, for this particular recipe, and you can divide it, you don't have to use 2 pounds, but 2 pounds of ground beef, and find a local farmer, okay, that we have, and I'm going to tell you what our beef, and I'll explain that to you in a minute as well. Let's go in with the ingredients. So 2 pounds of ground beef, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. I can never, Worcestershire, how do you say that? I can never get that out. 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of ground black pepper, 4 slices of bacon. You want that cooked and chopped up. You'll need 8 tablespoons of crumbled blue cheese or any kind of cheese. You want 1/2 cup of butter. You want that softened. You want 4 hamburger buns, 8 slices of tomatoes, and then 4 Bibb lettuce leaves or any kind of lettuce, whatever you have. 4 slices of red onion. Now this is key into the ground beef mixture, okay? You'll combine the ground beef, the sauce, the salt and black pepper in a bowl. You want to divide that mixture into 4 balls and divide each ball in half. So you'll press the meat flat on the counter, and then you'll stuff half the meat with the bacon and 2 tablespoons of blue cheese or whatever your cheese is per burger, and top with the unstuffed meat. Then you'll seal the edges with the burgers, okay? So all this is going to be inside the hamburger. So I'll show you in the picture right here. All that juiciness is going to be on the inside, and those are some really good burgers. Okay, now you'll slide the pizza rack into shelf position 2 and place the burgers on the pizza rack. And all of this comes with it now, your pizza rack and everything comes with it. So rotate the program selector knob to the air fry setting, 400 degrees for 18 minutes. Okay, then you're going to press the start pause button, and you'll begin the cooking cycle. Now, when the burgers are done cooking, remove them from the pizza rack and set them to the side. Slide the pizza rack back into self position 1, butter the buns, and put them in about 10 minutes, about 8 minutes, whatever, however. Phil always wants his lightly toasted. I would do mine to 10 minutes, so we'll do his for about 6 minutes. Press the start. You can tell I've cooked with this thing a lot. I highly recommend it. Okay, broil the buns until they're golden, and then you'll just assemble everything together on this hamburger. It makes it, and I love this recipe with the cheese and all that stuff right in the middle of it. Now, if you want yours cooked real well, in the middle, let me tell you what you can do. This is Phil's idea right here. So when he cooks out burgers, or whenever he's cooking a burger, he's got this hamburger patty right here, okay? So what he'll do is get his thumb, and he presses his thumb down into it, and he makes an indentation right there in the middle of the hamburger patty, and it's going to get more done on the inside. You know, some people want it cooked all the way through, and that's a good way you can do it, to get it cooked all the way through. Okay, what time have I got? Okay, in just a couple of minutes, we're going to have to go into a commercial break. Let's go to the commercial break, and when we come back, I'm going to give you a recipe right here for the buttermilk fried chicken. Buttermilk fried chicken. It's really good. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park, and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors, and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. at Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020. We're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
We are back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, Abundant Television. We are syndicated on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Make sure you check out the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. netnewsnetwork.net, and also check out this Amazon right down below that podcast, and you'll get a really good deal on this Emeril's air fryer. It's the Emeril's Power Air Fryer 360, and I've got a couple of recipe books that came with it. So you get this, you get all the different attachments that go with it as well. I promised you, we're going to show you a recipe right here. How do you make that delicious looking fried chicken? Easy. Okay, you're not going to have to spend a bunch of time, and it's going to be really moist, and it's not going to be all greasy. You know what I mean? Sometimes you think you've got to grease everything up to make it tender. Not with this recipe. Here are the ingredients. 2 cups of buttermilk. You want by the way, if you don't have buttermilk, I'll tell you a really good recipe, and we've done this before on this show. If you're going ahead and put 2 tablespoons of either lemon juice, if you want it sweeter, it'll be lemon juice. If you want it to be just a little bit more with a kick to it, then you'll use just plain old white vinegar. Then you're going to fill the cup all the way up to 2 cups in this particular recipe, and you got you some buttermilk. Just in case you didn't buy any, you got some now. You'll need 2 tablespoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of sugar. Sugar kind of helps the intensity of the browning. And then you'll need 1/2 teaspoon of ground black pepper, 6 chicken legs, 6 chicken thighs, 1 cup of flour, 6 eggs, 6 cups of crushed flaked corn cereal, and then you'll need some of Emeril's Essence seasoning. By the way, I got it was a little packet of that when I bought this fryer, or Phil bought it for me for Christmas, about 2-3 years ago, I think. Okay, the directions. This is what you do. You'll pour the buttermilk into the large bowl. Then you're going to add the salt, the sugar, and the black pepper to the buttermilk, okay? You want to soak the chicken legs and the thighs in the buttermilk. Add the flour to a shallow baking dish, and then you'll add the eggs to another dish and start beating those with a fork. Add the cereal crumbs and Emeril's Essence seasoning to a third dish. Now what you're going to do is shake off the buttermilk off of the chicken, okay? And now what this buttermilk is doing to the chicken is it's really making it moist, okay? So you're going to have some super, super moist chicken. Okay, so shake the buttermilk off those chicken pieces, and then you'll go ahead and dip that chicken into the flour. Then you want to do the eggs, dip it in the eggs, and then finally the crumbs. So you got your eggs, and you got you got your flour, then the eggs, and then the crumbs. Then you'll place the chicken pieces on the crisper tray. Inside the crisper tray, you want to put it into position number 2. Okay, now what you're going to do is rotate the temperature knob to 375 degrees or 191 Celsius, and the time control knob to 40 minutes. Press the start button, and then that begins the cooking cycle. Now, while the chicken's cooking, you can start whatever else you want to go with it. If you want a baked potatoes are really good in this thing too. So whatever you want to do to go with it, you can go ahead and start cooking that. Now, you need a meat thermometer for everything that you cook, any kind of meat, okay, just to make sure it's done on the inside, especially chicken and turkey, anything that's poultry type. Now, when the internal temperature of the chicken reaches 160 degrees, then the chicken is ready to serve. You'll press the cancel button and then remove the chicken from the power fryer. And I'm going to tell you, it's really good crispy chicken. It reminds me of Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's really good. Now, while we're on the idea of chicken, this is my favorite recipe right here. It's the rotisserie chicken, and it's really good. And you're going to use a whole chicken for this. Now, you can actually do the same recipe with a smaller turkey. So I'm going to explain that to you in a second. You want to make your own rub. Oh, you really got it going on. You can make your own rub. What you're going to need is ½ cup of paprika. You'll need 3 tablespoons of ground cayenne pepper. If you want heat, if you don't want it, you can omit it. 1/4 cup plus 1 tablespoon of freshly ground black pepper. You'll also need 1/4 cup plus 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. You can use any store brand. It's just as good as the national brands. 3 tablespoons of onion powder. You'll also need 1/4 cup plus 2 teaspoons of salt. You'll need 2½ tablespoons of dried oregano. It gives a really good taste. Good flavor. 2½ tablespoons of dried thyme. You're going to need 1 4-pound whole chicken. You need the whole chicken. You want the legs and everything on it because that's also going to help in getting this thing moist. You want to kind of rinse it out and make sure everything's cool. Now, here's how you put it together, okay? So you're going to combine the rustic rub ingredients in a bowl that you're putting yourself. You're the chef here. You're going to rub the chicken with 1/2 cup of the rustic rub. Now you want to truss the chicken, attach one of the rotisserie forks into the rotisserie spit, and then tighten the screws on the fork. And it's easy to do. Even I can do it. Usually I would get Phil to do something like that, but I can actually do this. Okay, slide the chicken on the spit rod into the secured spit fork. You want to secure the chicken on the rotisserie spit with the other rotisserie fork and the screws. Now let me tell you something else that you can do. And so you don't have like a whole lot of heavy cleanup to do with those spits that go inside that chicken. If you'll get some Pam spray or any kind of spray, it can be the store brand spray, and spray those forks before you put it into the chicken, you're going to have a lot easier cleanup, okay? Because I'm going to tell you what, when it's on there and it bakes on there, it can be hard to clean and you'll have to soak it. But if you just get some spray Pam, put it on there, plus it'll be easier to go inside that chicken. Insert the chicken into the rotisserie connections inside that power air fryer 360. Now rotate the program selection knob to the rotisserie setting. It has its own setting. And you want to rotate the temperature control knob to 350 degrees and the time control knob to 55 minutes. You'll press the start and begin the cooking. Now, when the internal temperature of the chicken reaches 160 degrees, it's time to serve. And by the way, you can actually open the door and put your thermometer in there without taking the chicken out. Okay, so let the chicken rest for about 15 minutes before you serve. Now, I did try this with the chicken breast. I didn't have the whole chicken, and it turned out good too. So now what I did though, for it to turn out right, because it was just the chicken breast, you didn't have the legs and the wings and all that to it. So what I did, I changed the temperature setting on it. So instead of 350 degrees, I put it down to 340 degrees, and I cooked it a little longer. So instead of 55 minutes, I wound up cooking it for 110 minutes. So just a little bit over that 55 minutes. I put an extra 15 minutes in there. Got my thermometer and made sure that internal temperature was the way it should be. Okay, let's see. I made almost everything in here. Let's see. This is a good one right here. It's barbecue pulled pork stuffed corn muffins. And I'm going to tell you what, that's an easy one too. Super easy. Okay, so you can tell I've used this one a lot. The page came out of it. These are tried and tested in Donna's kitchen, okay? So these are good. Okay, ingredients. What you're going to need is 2 tablespoons of butter. You want to melt it, but you want it to be a little cooled, okay? All right, because in other words, you don't want like straight out of the refrigerator butter. It's got to be softened. You want 2 scant cups of all-purpose flour spooned into the measuring cups. You'll want 3/4 cup of cornmeal. You'll also need a third cup of sugar plus a little bit more for sprinkling. And I'll explain that in a minute. 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of baking powder. You'll also need 3/4 teaspoons of salt. Now remember, we're using all-purpose flour. That's why we're having to add the salt and the baking powder. Now, if you only have self-rising flour, fine. You just omit the salt and the baking powder, okay? So just remember that. Baking, when you're using all-purpose flour, you've got to add the salt and the baking powder. And if it's self-rising, you don't have to add anything. Just go with the recipe. 3 eggs, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, 1/2 cup of water, 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. You'll also need 2 tablespoons of buttermilk. And remember, you can make your own. 1/4 cup of honey. Yes, my bees out there. Yes, the honey. 1.5 cups of pulled pork and 1/4 cup of barbecue sauce. Now, this is how you make it. Okay, you're going to butter a 7-ounce, 6-cup muffin tray. Remember, we got muffins, and it really, really good barbecue is going to be in the middle of that muffin. And that's a real quick on the go. And I'll tell you what, if you'll make some extra, this is going to make 6 of them. But if you make extra, then you can have some for lunch the next day. Just put them in the microwave for about 30 seconds at a time until it's heated the way you want it. Okay, now we butter the 7-ounce, 6-cup muffin tray. You want to combine the flour, or you can just use spray Pam or whatever the store brand is. You'll combine the flour, the cornmeal, the sugar, the baking powder, and salt in a bowl. Combine the eggs, vegetable oil, water, cream, buttermilk, honey in a separate bowl. You can add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients and mix to finish the corn muffin mix. You'll combine the pulled pork and the barbecue sauce. You'll spoon 2 tablespoons of corn muffin mix onto each muffin cup. 2 tablespoons. Then you'll top the mixture with 3 tablespoons of the pulled pork, and then you'll need another 2 tablespoons of the corn muffin mix. You want to slide it into the pizza rack into shelf position 6. Now remember, when you're cooking in the Emeril, you don't preheat. Like an oven, I would tell you to preheat the oven for this. And with anything else you do, preheat the oven, that's a big deal. But not with this, not with Emeril's air fryer, okay? All right, so you'll slide into the pizza rack into the shelf position 6. Rotate the program selection knob to bake setting 325 degrees, and then you want to cook it for 20 minutes. So you set it on the 20-minute timer. Then you're going to go ahead and press that start pause button to begin the cooking. And what it'll do now, when it's ready to start cooking, when it is cooking, it'll beep to let you know that it's ready on any of these recipes. Okay, it'll do that. Okay, and then what you're going to do, when everything's done, you're going to remove the muffin tray. You need to let the muffins cool for just a few minutes before you serve them. And that just kind of unites the heat so that it's all kind of uniform in the whole thing. Okay, that's it. I encourage you to buy this. It's not very much. I've had mine a good couple of years, and I love it. It's so quick. In the morning, Phil gets his biscuits. I'm not heating up the entire, and I'm saving on electricity too. If you use the oven, you're going to use more electricity, so you'll see your electricity bill go down as well. A lot of folks tell me, well, I don't cook at home because it costs too much electricity. You don't have an excuse now. Going ahead and click or going ahead and jot down that Amazon right there. And by the way, if you buy it, you're also helping our radio station. We definitely appreciate you doing that as well. You're helping us kind of get that word out. Thank you again so much for watching. My name is Donna, and I am your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Make sure you check out the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. netnewsnetwork.net. And we appreciate you listening to us every day. You take care. See you on the next show.